A common issue I see with the implementation of jumps and plyos is how they get programmed as sets and reps. Jumps and plyos are usually placed early in a training session before lifting, and it can take a significant amount of effort to get fully warmed up, to put high intent into jumping, and to get to the point of feeling like you've reached high performance with your jumps. A common set and rep scheme you might see for jumps is something like 4 sets of 5 of seated box jumps. That's just a random example. If this is your first exercise or drill for the session, you never really know when you're fully warmed up for your first working sets. Depending on what you do to warm up, you might display all the signs of a textbook warm up: light sweat, increased heart rate and respiratory rate, but you might not actually be ready for maximal performance. So your first couple sets are pretty poor because you're still working out some kinks, so you kind of just waste away a couple of sets. And this can easily happen for all of your sets too. And rest times are kind of ambiguous. You don't really feel like you need full recovery after 3 to 5 jumps, but you're supposed to take full rest between sets. And before you know it, you've already done your 4 working sets, but none of the jumps are that great when you really think about it. A simple solution for this is just to program jumps and plyos for time. Don't worry about sets and reps, don't think about rest times, just rest as needed. Set a clock for 10 to 12 minutes and just start doing whatever jumps and plyos you have programmed for that session, and gradually increase intensity as the time goes on. You'll most likely get warmed up quicker and reach a flow state, and you'll realize how many more total reps you get in the session because you're not counting your reps and trying to decide whether they count as warm-ups or working reps. This also provides an opportunity to get some extra aerobic work in without intentionally doing aerobic training. I think this is a good thing because it's not going to fatigue you prior to your lifting. And if you work with medium-sized or bigger groups, this is really easy to implement with them too. I do this with the teams I work for all the time. Give them whatever jumping activity they have for that time and just let them have at it for their own pace for that time period. Lastly, I think programming jumps and plyos this way just puts you in a better state going into your lifting compared to programming sets and reps. If you feel like you don't get a lot out of your jumping and plyos in your training session before lifting, just start programming this way. I think it might help. Maybe it doesn't work for some people, but that's all I got for the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.